All right, we are back live again. I must go ahead and, as I do most of my live streams, go ahead and tell you that we do have a Facebook page. If you want to go ahead and join the Facebook page, this is what it looks like. Chris the Dude Nurse got 21 followers, not bad. 17 likes, not bad at all. Kind of impressed with that, actually, believe it or not. We do also have a Instagram. It looks like this. I will go ahead and say that if you like message me or whatever on Instagram, I don't know how to use it, so I'm not going to be able to respond back to you. But go ahead and like the page, follow the page, whatever it may be. But got the Instagram as well as the Facebooks. Good times. I know everybody is excited about that. What's up, Jenna? But I gotta get that out of the way. Also, I do have, if I can hold it the correct way, stickers. If you want yourself a sticker, let me know, and I will get you a sticker free of charge for you. I will pay for the shipping and handling and all these things. What's up, Jerry? Let me get my housekeeping out the way. Ooh, these glasses is so glary. I can see myself in my glasses. Y'all probably can as well. They're pretty glary. In any case, how is everybody's Saturday nights? I know we went live on Monday of this week. Monday, of course, was July the 3rd. We went live on July the 3rd. It was a good day. And then back live again now on July the 8th. Good times. Hope everybody had a good week. Hope everybody had a short week. I did not have a short week, but I hope everybody else did. And a fun week. Excuse me. Get my yawns out. So I worked this morning. I got off work at about 9:30 this morning. Went to a softball tournament, which lasts all day. Of course, because we're in July, it rained like crazy. We had to hurry up and put everything up in the vehicles and then head home. Once we did that, showed up here. Pretty stinking busy all day. What did I do for the 4th? So the only thing, literally the only thing that I did other than like regular stuff was I raced a kid and got beat on the 4th of July around the racetrack. I'm not sure if everybody's seen that or not. That is all I did for the 4th. We don't do fireworks. Courtney went to go see fireworks. We don't typically do fireworks. Our middle child, I know I've said it before, she has special needs and she doesn't handle the booms very well. She doesn't handle that very well. She likes the colors, but the booms really mess with her. So we don't do a lot of fireworks. But yes, that was a race with Trash Pot Talk where he beat me. Yeah. I'd say I'm disappointed, but I'm also his mom's age, so not really disappointed. What happens? Jerry says, so I got into a fight with a family member. She said I was crazy to start as a new LPN in a long-term acute care hospital. It's what I want to do. But do you think it's a stupid idea? No, absolutely not. That is probably, in all honesty, one of the best areas for an LPN. Those areas are like the long-term acute care hospitals such as Kindred. Kindred is our local hospital. It's a chain also, but it's local, based out of Greensboro. Um, that's like the honey hole for the LPN. That's like the you know you're not going anywhere. You know you're going to have the best equipment. You know that you're going to get paid because you're acute care. Like I'm not exactly sure what your family member's argument is. The long-term acute care hospitals for an LPN is, you know, is a very good place to be. I do not see a issue with that at all. Is it where I would want to go? No, it's not where I would want to go. Have I looked into it? Yes. I have looked into it. It's, you know, it was really, honestly, it was the hours that didn't fit for me. I needed something with different hours than they were offering. But like no, I mean, it's, you know, the long-term care acute care hospitals are phenomenal ideas. Yes, no, agreed. The only thing that I could actually argue against is not the LPN fact, it's the new grad fact, because I don't know, you know, I don't know if they're going to throw you in the deep end until you swim, or if they're going to train you, you know, really, really well. So the only argument that would hold water, in my opinion, would be the new grad fact. Absolutely not the LPN fact. But even that, you know, if you're a good learner, then no, you know, you should be just fine. Do what makes you feel. Yes, do what makes you feel comfortable. It's a learning experience where anywhere you go is going to be a learning experience. And no, this family member is not a nurse. It's probably going to be the long-term acute care hospital is probably going to be faster paced, but hopefully with less patients. 3 months of training. Okay, so that's not bad. So that's like a full 90 days of training. My first job, I got like 6 days, not months, 6 days of training as a new grad. And they were telling me that I actually got too much training. So no, I do not disagree with that decision at all. Especially with 3 months of training. Nah, get out of here with that mess. Yeah, LOL, you had 5 days. Yeah, it was when I was at the long-term care. When I went to long-term care as a new grad, it was terrible. 4 to 6 patients to 1 nurse. How many CNAs you get though? Is it 1 nurse? Like you're the only staff for those 4 to 6 patients? Curious. I'm genuinely curious. Like I honestly don't know. But I'm still for it. Not against it at all. But no, I don't see a problem with that at all. It would be like if you went as a new grad, which I don't encourage this. If you went as a new grad to like an acute care home health setting, it would be a one-on-one, but you know, the new grad part would be the part that would worry me, not the LPN part. You know, I did home health. I mean, you know, it's not that hard if I can do it. But the problem with home health is you have no CNAs, no support staff. You have yourself, and if you get yourself in a bind, you're in some trouble. I don't remember I went to talk to HR, but ended up having an interview with the nursing director. That is awesome. That is awesome. So quick story about when I was in home health. Literally handed you the job. Would be a night position. That would be my downfall. I wouldn't take it. Me, again, this is just me. because I really don't want to do nights. So not as crazy. So I'd be more, yeah. So more mistakes happen on night shift than day shift, even though it's a slower shift, and that's statistically proven. Not saying you're gonna make mistakes, but just saying in general. Not sure why. I think it's probably related to people getting tired. Anyways, when I was in home health, back to my story of you are by yourself, had a patient that was on the tullet and was going to transition from tullet to wheelchair. The house was not what you want to call clean. It was pretty cluttered, not clean at all. But I did have enough room to get the wheelchair in and do a transition from wheelchair to tullet, and I was going to go back tullet to wheelchair. Getting to the tullet was okay, no issues. Pick this individual up. I've got a belt on them. I got a belt on them, and they're holding me. I've got a belt, and the wheelchair is sort of to. It doesn't matter what side it was. To my side. Lift up with the belt. Turn. Go to set down on the wheelchair, and I know for a fact I locked it. I know I locked it. Set them down, and the wheels don't roll, but they slide back. Because like I said, I'm not in a clean house. They slide back, and so here's the bottom of the chair, and the person's butt hits just like this. They full on panic and bored out. So butt is here, but they're like a board, so they're just like this, and their legs are straight out, and I'm holding them on this belt, and I am all by myself, and they're in full panic mode. Oh, Chris, you're gonna drop me. You're gonna drop me, Chris. You're gonna drop me. You're gonna drop me. You're gonna drop me, Chris. And I was like, oh shoot. And they were big. They were much bigger than myself. And I was like, shoot, what do I do? Because, I'm all alone. And they had a life alert. And it had a pretty long chain. And I sort of hugged them real hard and got my hand up and hit that life alert. And the fire department came. It took it the whole ordeal took 20 minutes, not including the toileting. The transition from chair from toilet to chair to fire department coming took 20 minutes. And I was sweating. You could have wrung my scrubs out. I was sweating so hard because I couldn't go anywhere, and they were like a board. I'm holding them, because I'm worried they're going to fall. They never did fall. But the fire department showed up. It took them 30 seconds. They were it was 3 guys that were all bigger than I am. They all showed up and they're like, oh, okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, you're in the chair. All right, let's go. Bye, guys. And I was like, oh, shoot. Had to do a stinking report on that. What do they call them? S-bars. Had to do a stinking S-bar on that. But luckily it wasn't a fall, so I didn't have to do neuro checks and all that. That's my horror story from home health about being completely alone, because you're all alone. Yeah, that was 2014 or 15. I had just finished up. Yeah. And they were telling me, the patient was like, you didn't lock my chair. I know I locked that chair. I remember vividly locking that chair. It was just the floor was dirty, and it wasn't carpeted. But of course, who carpets a bathroom? I mean, no one carpets a bathroom. That's just a bad idea in general. So. But yeah, it was fun. Good times. So anyways, I got sort of wink people asking about a position at work, and they were saying, Chris, you're a good fit for it, but the only thing is I gotta finish up my ADN, and I really don't know if I should finish up my ADN. I'm really fighting myself on it. It's gonna take a whole nother year if I finish up my ADN, but I keep talking about it. I'm leaning towards it. I've started looking even harder. I think I might actually finally do it this time. Chris, what's your advice on charting? I wish nursing school focused a bit more on charting. So when I chart, I am not a very good charter in general. Let me see how to say that correctly. So you know how you have shorthand, like patients is PT. You know, you have shorthand, you have abbreviations for things. I don't abbreviate, and I think that it probably is more related to nursing school not teaching it the same. I think that the older nurses, like that are just a little bit older than me, you know, like early 2000s, late 90s, I think that those nurses really hit hard on the charting with abbreviations. Yes, I did get my hair cut. My daughter did it. And I don't really do the abbreviations, and it takes me like twice as long to chart as it does. I work hand in hand like every single shift almost with this one nurse who's been a nurse for like 38 years, and her notes take her like no time at all, and I can read them and they're full of abbreviations, but at the same time I can't, for whatever reason, I can't do them, and I don't do them. And her notes or her charting is I'm gonna call it notes. That's just it's the terminology I use if I'm confusing you. But the notes that she writes are just so much better and precise and quicker than mine. But yeah, I really do think nursing school should have probably focused on that a little bit more. Because when I do my notes, it takes me forever to do my notes. Like I was the last one to leave today, because of my notes. It is what it is, you know. It is terrible. It was a managerial position, Jerry. A managerial position is what they were offering me. They see you're a great nurse and pushing you to go further. I don't know if it's that or if it's just that I've been with the company so long. And yes, Roz, my oldest is my barber. She is my barber. She's a great one too. I told her when she started cutting my hair, she started cutting about a year ago. I told my oldest, I better not ever come home and see weird boys in my house getting their hairs cut. I know it's going to happen. I'm fully aware because I was in high school once myself. I remember high school. I remember that there was like one girl who could cut hair, and we would go to her house to get our hair cut. So when people find out that my oldest can cut hair, you know, I'm gonna have weird boys here at my house getting their hair cut. Dun dun dun. Hope she charges for them. Because Bailey did not charge anybody. Bailey was a girl's name from high school. She did not charge anybody to cut hair. But go back and get my 80 in. You're smart. You got this. Y'all say I'm smart. Listen, I am not. I have like common sense, sort of street smart intelligence, but like book work, I am not. I really am not very intelligent in those areas. It wasn't fun. Nice. I let my dad cut my hair. He's good though. He's good too. It's awesome. Especially if you have the luxury to have, if you have the luxury of having someone, you know, in your house or someone that you're close to that can do tasks like that, like cut your hair. You know, it always makes things easier. But I know one day my oldest is going to get older and she's not going to want to cut my hair no more. Hey, baby. Courtney is not feeling well tonight, so she probably will not join us. Ain't that right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Are you just seeing who's on? Mm-hmm. Okay. You gonna hop in the tub? Okay. That's fine. Yeah, all right.
Mm-hmm. You think I should show them my knee and see if they think I should go to the doctor?
You can. I don't think she does. I think it just needs to heal up. Can you get your knee up that high?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll show off your knee. Keep in mind, she did this on her birthday, which was like 2 weeks ago now.
It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow.
2 weeks tomorrow.
Well, in a couple of weeks.
I don't think she needs to go to the hospital or get looked at. I will explain that story here in a second, Ross. Let's let Courtney show her knee off. Is that picking up?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think she needs to go to the hospital. It's not swollen anymore. It's still colored, but I don't think it's swollen anymore. What's up, Queen?
But this turned, well, it's not as purple as it was.
Mm-mm.
This was like immediately purple, like an hour after it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like all this was all the way purple here, and it was swollen, like with fluid.
I think it was just a soft tissue injury. Not like an ACL, TCL, BCL, TCL, ZZZL. Looks like it's healing well. It does look like it's healing well, honestly.
It actually didn't hurt that bad. It hurts to put pressure on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was to like push on it, it hurts. But
She fell roller skating on her birthday without me. I was not invited.
you could have went.
I was not invited.
You didn't go.
All right, so what happened about my medication count? So what happened? Okay, I love you. Are you shutting that door?
Yeah, I'm still
Okay. All right, I'll take it. What happened on my medication count? So when I get called to the director's office, which happens a lot because of my position at work, I'm not management, but I'm sort of like a go-to person. And they they call me oftentimes. You know, not that I'm in trouble or anything like that, but a lot of times I get called to the office. And so I got called to the principal's office, my director. I got called to the principal's office, and it was right at shift change. Like literally, I think that shift change was happening like that minute. In any case, we had a nurse who had decided, who was on the same shift as I was. She was on my shift. A young nurse. And she decided that it was her time to go, and it was taking me a little bit too long. I was probably in the director's office for about 15 minutes or so, and I had narcotics, which in my line of work, really in any line of work, but when you're in substance abuse, like myself, we really handle narcotics very particular. We actually have our own locking boxes. Like we lock up our own narcs ourselves. We have our own personal boxes. Any case, of course, I didn't lock it up because I didn't think anything of it. It was away from patients. No one could get to it. You know, it was in the pharmacy, or the Pyxis, or whatever you want to call it. We'll call it pharmacy. It was in the pharmacy, but it was away from patients. But this one nurse decided, you know what, Chris is taking too long. I'm going to count his meds. So she counts my meds. Well, as anybody who's given meds knows, you can count your meds all day, but you still have to match them up with what you gave. And so she didn't run the report of what I gave, because we're electronic. And so I walk in the pharmacy, and I'm like, hey, where's my meds at? And she's like, oh, I already counted them. I don't play. And I was like, no, bro. Like, those are mine. Like, what if I'm one off? What if I'm what if I'm a disc off? What if I'm a tab off? And she was like, oh, well, I guess you'll be off. And I was like, well, do you know if my numbers were correct? Like, did you run my report? Did you see my numbers? She was like, no, but this is what your number is. And I was like, no, like, don't touch my stuff. And I told her, don't touch my stuff, bro. Because you don't know what I gave. You don't know how many I gave. You don't know what I started with. What you know is the end of my day count. And then she wrote that down in the system. And I was like, no, you could be completely wrong. You could have miscounted. You could, even a miscount is going to look bad because, maybe you counted 4 here, but there was really 5, whatever it may be. And I was not happy. And she told me I had a power trip. And I did not. I did fight the urge, but I did not go back to my director's office and tattletale on this girl. I aggressively said probably 2 or 3 times, don't touch my meds, bro. After that, it was, I have never worked with a nurse who is okay with touching someone else's meds. Like, I could see if it was like an emergent situation. The nurse that I've talked about that is really, really good at charting, that does her notes so well. I would trust her if I have a family emergency. I would say, hey, Tina, I've got a family emergency. I got to go. Can you do my count? I would trust her to do my count. And I think that she would probably trust me to do her count, pending a family emergency or something like that. But other than something like that, I would never trust anyone else to do my count. And so I was like fuming over that mess. I was really upset about that. But hopefully it all got taken care of. I hope. I was upset. Ross said as he fell once ice skating, thought he broke his hip. Queen says I'm not about to attempt to skate. And yeah, no one should count your meds. My sister was a jammer on a roller derby team. She comes home tomorrow for her leave. No, Monday. She comes home Monday for her leave. She'll be home for 2 weeks, so maybe we'll do some skating. Maybe me and her will do some skating. If she has time. I don't know if she has plans or not. But me and my sister typically skate whenever she's home. My mom, for my 30th birthday, me and my sister went skating, right? And my mom decided to go with us. And so she was like 50, 51, 50, 52. Fell and broke her arm. I was like, dang, Mom. She never broke anything. On my 30th birthday, she fell and broke her arm. I was like, dang, I just want to go skating with Caitlin. I just want to go skating with my sister. And my mom shows up and breaks her arm. Good times. Shake my head. She's not a jammer anymore. She was at Fort Campbell in Clarksville, Tennessee, and they had a team there. But then she got deployed to, I think she went to Germany from there. And then after she left Germany, she went to Lewis McCorden, Washington State, which she lost all of her friends, whenever she did all that, and quit skating competitively. So she doesn't do all that. She was really good though. She really was. She was on the calendar. Like Roller Derby Girls of 09. Something like that. Yeah, Army. She is a librarian. Her husband is a major, so he sees all the action. She sees all the books. But she'll be home Monday. Maybe. So when we were little, my grandfather recorded everything. He always had a camera, and so my sister is probably not going to go on camera, but maybe, fingers crossed. We could have a brother-sister video. That'd be pretty cool, I think, if we had a brother-sister video. But we'll see. Will you be an officer if you enter the military as a nurse? I will ask her. I don't exactly know how that works. I think, if I'm correct, and I may not be, so don't, I may be incorrect, but I believe if you go into the military with a degree, so you have to have a degree to be a nurse, even an LPN. You have to have had graduated college. I believe you automatically start as an officer, but I will ask her, and she may not know the correct answer, but I believe any degree you enter as an officer. But I could be wrong. Could be wrong. So yes, I believe you could enter as a nurse, but I am to the age now to where I could only enter the Air Force. I believe. I think the Air Force is the only one that would take me now. I'm so old. None of the other ones will take me. I think you can be up to 39 and enter the Air Force. Enlist. I did think about it. I took my ASVAB and was going to go, and then just life happened and decided not to. I was going to go Air Force. That's what I heard too, but not sure if they pay well, but the benefits should be great. Yes. Yeah, the benefits will be majorly worth it. Of course, once you enlist, you begin to, once you sort of move up your rank, you begin to accumulate more and more of a salary, until they draft anyone. Thankfully, the draft hasn't drafted. It still exists, because you still have to sign up for the draft, but they don't actually draft anybody. But until they start drafting people again. Because the draft, 70, 72, 73, 74, somewhere around in there, Vietnam area, they quit the draft. Some countries make you serve like a year or two. Like if you look up Arnold Schwarzenegger, I believe he did a year in the Swiss Army because he had to, or the Austrian Army. He's Austrian, yeah, in the Austrian Army because he had to. Yeah, they don't draft unless there's a major war. Yeah. Typically they don't draft unless there's a major war. My grandfather, when he was younger, went on ahead and enlisted in the Air Force because Korea was going on, and he said it wasn't if he gets drafted, it's when he gets drafted. Because he was like one of 3 boys. He said he knew he was going. So he went Air Force, that way he knew where he was going. Ended up going to Korea. Before we moved here in the U.S., they had me sign up for selective service. Yeah, Israeli people. Probably pronounced that incorrectly. Yeah, they have to join the military also, yeah. Sign up for the selective service. Russia, Korea, China, I think some Middle East countries, and European countries, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people require you to do a 1 year. No choice. At least in the U.S., it is a choice. Yeah, it is a choice. But I've had this debate with other people before, and I don't really know how I feel about it. Do you think that it sort of gets young people sort of motivated, or maybe not motivated, but like sort of pushes them into adulthood. You know, do you think that doing that 1 year of service sort of makes you become an adult and, you know, gets you off your mom's couch or whatever? I kind of feel like, you know, depending upon what you're doing, I kind of feel like it could actually be a good thing to make you be an adult. Like, it teaches you have to do these things in order to survive. But again, it depends on what you're doing. But I could definitely see it being like, you know what, you have to do this. You have to grow up. Here's your I think it's good. Who don't have structure in life? Yeah, I do too. I've got to turn the big light on. The lack of light is messing with me. I'm gonna turn the big light on. I had to do that. The lack of light was messing with me. It's a good way to get on your feet. It is a good way to get on your feet, and I also think of like underprivileged children. Like I know we have them here in the States, but you know, underprivileged children are really everywhere. You know, children that really didn't get taught very well in school or things like that. You know, you're all in an equal playing field in the military, so you know, might be good for them too. Might help them out. Might help them, you know, develop good habits. You know, sort of get them away from the environment. A lot of what we teach in substance abuse is sort of teaching, get away from your environment that brings you into the bad. You know, I've definitely been part of conversations where people are like, oh, I had to move here from, you know, Florida. I had to move here from New York. I had to move here from, you know, wherever, because I did not know anyone. And then, you know, they enter our program and you know, seek substance abuse help. But yeah, I think, you know, it might be good. It could be good, but let me be honest. I do like the fact that I had a choice. I do like the fact that at 18 years old, I was not forced into it, and I did have a choice. What was the documentary? Do you remember the name of it? You'd be dead first if we don't have a choice. Hopefully you could get a job where, like, you know, there are necessity jobs that the military still has, you know, that you may or may not think about. Like, there's plumbers, you know, there's welders, there's electricians, you know, there's skilled workers in the military. You know, there's people that you don't think about. You know, you're not straight to the front lines. So maybe you wouldn't be dead first. Maybe you'd find a way to be like, oh, sign me up for janitorial duties. I will do it. One of my big bosses, like corporate level bosses, was a mechanic. Was a Vietnam era mechanic, and says that he did not see any combat, you know, but still served. He always talks about the things that they did over there that, like, are funny and silly, but you know, because he has, you know, no PTSD or anything like that, because he didn't really do any combat. He just went to be a mechanic over there. Or over here, I can't remember. He was Vietnam era mechanic, I know that much. And he said that the military did not care as long as he showed up on time to work on something. And then now he's a big time boss of mine. But good times. But yeah, I am thankful for the choice. And then you can't say, back to my previous point, you can't say like, oh, well, we'll give these kids a choice. You know, you can go or you can't go. But then you can't say, oh, well, if you're underprivileged, you don't have a choice. Like, even the underprivileged children should still have a choice, you know. If you give one group of people no choice, you should give all group of people no choice, in my opinion. You know, to my previous point of saying, you know, it'll help people get out of their situations. You still have to give, if you give no one a choice, or if you give a certain group a choice, you have to give everybody one, or no one one. You know, we shouldn't pick and choose. Just my 2 cents. Unless there's a medical documented necessary reason. That would be it. That was a tangent. Oh, I'll see how we got there too. Good times. Good times. I will say I try to get on the VA. I've tried several times to get on with the VA. I did my clinicals with the VA, and it's hard, man. It's not easy to get on with the VA. We lost a nurse to the VA a couple months ago. It's about the Marines. Is it about the Marines? I thought I saw it, Queen. Sorry, if you see me looking down, I've actually got the race on, like right there. Can't forget my race. So I'm not, you know, I'm just eyeballing it every so often. You know, just taking a look at it. Gotta have the race on every so often. Is it hard to get there as an LPN? No. It's hard to get there. So, let me rephrase my answer. It's hard to get on the VA, period. Because you're an LPN doesn't make it more harder. More harder? Or even harder? Yeah, so it's hard to get on the VA, end of statement, period. And then LPN, you know, whatever the job calls for, you know, that's what they're hiring. So it's not like RN LPN is any different. Have y'all heard of Threads on Instagram? Threads is the new Twitter, I believe. I believe Meta created Threads to compete with Twitter or something like that. I've heard of it. I haven't seen anything of it. I'm trying to get there after a year. Yeah, once you get on the VA, once you get a year, you'll be all right. Getting on the VA. Well, I mean, it's still gonna take a while to get on the VA. There's too many social medias. Can't keep up. Agreed. I cannot keep up. What is up, Chase? Chase from Jax. I have a CNA friend in the VA. If you can get on. The pay is not the best. Like I've looked it up before. It's on the bottom end of competitive, but the benefits, dude, the benefits are well worth the VA. Plus, with the VA, you know you're gonna have supplies. You know you're gonna have help. You know you're going to have all of these things, and your patients are sort of understanding. because they're all in it together, you know. I did, like I said, I did my clinicals at the VA, at the local VA. The pay is horrible, bottom end of competitive. Yes, agreed. Like they take, you know, like they say, if a family in your state can survive on 50,000, we're gonna pay you 49. Excited to be getting in LP in school somewhere here now. I'm sorry, I am tired. Somewhere here now that I finally decided to do it. Well, good. I'm glad you finally decided to do it. Good for you. I don't think that's true. Any government job, unless you're a contractor, you're probably right. They talk about the military. The jail pays well. So here's the thing about the jail. And I don't know if it's this way anywhere else or if this is really just sort of a local thing. If something pops off in jail, you better watch yourself. You better have fantastic documentation. You better have the best care imaginable, because here locally, they will pin the nurse. Like we had a guy, it was a inmate, fell off his top bunk and he broke his neck. And the guards were in there for like 45 minutes before they called the nurse. The nurse comes in, and I can't remember the exact details, but the nurse only saw this person for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then they ended up dying. And I can't remember, like I said, I can't remember details, but the nurse saw this patient or inmate for like 3 minutes, if that. And they ended up dying from the fall that they sustained, falling off their top bunk. They pinned that mess on the nurse. Like they pinned that mess on the nurse. Like I mean, I don't see how they did it. She had to have done. It was a female. She had to have done something in that 3 minutes that no one else knew what she was doing. But they pinned it on her, dude. And like after that, I was like, no, I am not going to correctional. Ever. I think in jail you always have to be vigilant. Yes. You have to count all the sharps. If you're missing sharps, when they count sharps, you get sent home and you can get fired. Yeah. I do not doubt that at all. That's my biggest fear, when there's a door that's left open at my work that has sharps in it. Like even sharps that are in the box, you know, because you can still get in those things. It's not the most difficult. Is somebody's going to get those. Somebody's going to get a hold of those sharps. So I shut all doors. Shut doors, lock doors. I always make sure like everything is shut and locked up. We had a patient when I was still at the hospital. I had a PICC line, and they were a known IV drug user, and they were doing like 6 weeks in the hospital. Like they had to stay with us for 6 weeks, and managed to get into the sharps that was mounted to the wall and found a single 10cc syringe. You know, just the ones that have the saline, you know, that are Heplock, and filled it up with water. And pushed so much water that it busted the PICC line. And the reasoning behind this was that they would get a better PICC line so that they could get their drugs in themselves better. I don't understand it either, but they did. This person literally got water out of the sink, like ran the tap and pulled the plunger back and pulled water back up in their PICC line. In order to ruin the PICC, to get a new one for it to be better for the drugs. Yeah. Should be heparin. Wow. Now we did in dialysis we had heparin. I think there were 5s, but we had 5 or 10 cc heparin syringes like that. But yeah, no, they were using straight water. Should have been heparin. But when I was in the hospital, it was just a saline. I'm sure everybody's seen those though. You know, they come the prepackaged ones that are full of saline, 10 cc's. We used to have like water gun fights with them and stuff, because you'd come home and be packed in your pockets. You just undo that you pop them off real quick and squeeze them. I don't know. They probably don't use those anymore. Probably not cost effective. But that was years ago. We had a whole group. It was a whole group. It was like one whole side that they were all in there at the same time. They'd all shot up with the same needle, and they had all gotten endocarditis. And it was a group of like 6 or 7 of them, and only like 2 of them survived. It took several of them a little bit to die. Like, it wasn't quick, which is terrible. And they were all young. And that was hard to watch. But the person with the pickle on that, they were part of that crowd. It was years ago, but hard to watch. Good times. But you know what? I'm thinking about that story. Let me see if I can. Do you think the guy that fell off the bed was killed? I don't know. But here is the story. Actually, I just found it. Grand jury indicts nurse but not jail officers in death of black man. I don't know. Listen, it doesn't matter the race. The man still ended up dying. He was on his stomach for 12 minutes after he fell out of his bed. But if you read the report, let's see. On-call nurse. Let me see here. I know it says that she wasn't in that room, but like, I'm looking for the I can't find. I know there is a report that says it. That she wasn't in there very long at all, but the officers were like in there for 12 minutes. They were like holding him down and stuff like that. So be very mindful when you go to jail, or if you do go into correctional nursing. Be very mindful of that. In some in-state hospitals, you gotta watch your back at all times. Never Never again. Patient almost took me out. Had to doctor up. Indecencies all the time. Yes. There are times like, so every now and then I will have a patient with me. We'll be going down the hall or something. We'll be going to like an isolated location of the facility, and I like constantly look in the doors and stuff to sort of see where hands are, like like see if the mirrored finish and stuff. Keep an eye on hands, keep an eye on body language, things like that. I've had things thrown at me and swings and pushes and things like that. So gotta be mindful, because you never know. You never know what'll happen. But yeah, I never understood why that nurse got charged with that, but the nurse got charged with that one in jail. Which, if you read the report, it sounded like the nurse was the one that was trying to help most, and everyone else was, trying to keep the patient down. Do they have night shifts for jail nurses? Yes, they do have night shifts for jail nurses. Excuse me. They do. I don't know that I would ever want to be I could probably do night shift again. I did it for 3 years early. I could probably do it again, but I'd have to my kids would have to be a little bit older and more independent. Like, I would have to get plenty of sleep during the day. Like, over the summer will be miserable, but during the school year, like, they'd have to be able to get themselves to school and home, and I could sleep the whole time. Like, that'd probably be about the only way I could do it. What is it like to work at night? You're starving, you're cold, and you're tired. That's it. It's every other experience, but add those. You can eat all your food in the world, and you're still hungry. You can put all the jackets on in the world, but you're still cold. And no matter how hard you try, you cannot keep your eyes open. You just constantly doing like that. That's night shift work. Zombie like, yes. I passed out a bunch of waters one time for the opening shift, and the nurse that I was working with was like, I just watched you pass out all of those waters asleep. Like, how did you do that asleep? I was like, what? I was asleep? No way. Yeah, you're definitely zombie-like. Yes, oof. We had a nurse who would do all her notes in the dark. And she'd be like, I just see better. I just see the keyboard better when I'm in the dark. And you know she's in there. Just knocked out. You always knew, like, if you looked on the assignments, you knew, be like, oh, I got my lookout. Her name was Princess. I'd be like, oh, I got Princess. I'm about to give me about 30 minutes of sleep. Ooh, you just tell Princess, say, I'm getting a room with a view. And then she'd be like, oh, 34 got a good view in it. You know, it'd be an empty room. And I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to check out the view in 34. But, you know, If anything happened, let me know. But it'd be about 30 minutes. You'll be in there. Just knocked out. No one catch you. Or hope no one catch you. Or hope you don't get an intake. You probably could do it. I don't want to say that it's like hard. The workload is the same. The hardest part that I had was just staying awake. Like I could not stay awake when I was night shift. That was just the hardest part. Catching up on my sleep was hard. Night shift does pay higher though. Night shift does pay higher. I did fall asleep after our oldest was born. No, you used to have a boss. Yeah, there's still a boss. But yeah, night shift pays higher. There's that shift diff that you get. That shift diff's alright. Ours was like, of course this was years ago, but ours was like, I think you got like $1 from anything from like 3 p.m. on, and then you got like another $1 from like 9 p.m. on. So you got the 3 o'clock dollar and then the 9 o'clock dollar, all the way to 6 a.m. or something like that. So, it was like 2 more extra dollars. But that was, last time I did nights was 2013 maybe, 2014. I haven't done nights in a long time, so I haven't had to worry about it. But yeah, we did get shift diffs. And then you got like another $1 if it was like nighttime or weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Anyways, so if you were nights, you got the 3 o'clock dollar, the 9 o'clock dollar, and if it was weekend, you got another $1. So you get $3 more on top of your base pay. So let's just say you were 10, which you wouldn't be 10. You would get 13, which that's pretty good bit, man. That's 30 more %, but you wouldn't be at 10. And then years ago, I don't think they probably still say they offer this, but I don't think they really do. There used to be what's called a Baylor shift, where you did 2 16-hour days, and then like you had no time to do anything else those 2 days. But you'd get off work and then try to sleep as quick as you can, and then go right back to work and do 2 16-hour days. And we only had those on the weekends. So you would do Friday or Saturday and Sunday, 2 16 Saturday and Sundays, and you'd still get paid for 40. That was the shift to get if you could handle it. If you could handle the 2 days a week. Just the 2 16-hour days back to back like that, though. That would be, that's what I wouldn't be able to handle. I think they still have Baylor shift, but I don't think they call it. I don't think it's the same as it was then. Ugh, you don't want to do a full-time job there? No way, no sir. I would do those 2 Baylor shifts, and then I'd have my whole week off. Yeah, there's no way I could do a full-time job during the week. Yeah, you do your 32, but you get paid for, or you used to do your 32, and then you would still get paid for 40. is how it did work. But that doesn't mean that's how it is now. But I haven't even seen Baylor shifts listed in a long time either. Which is unfortunate, because I know a lot of people sort of like that. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I am beginning to get tired. I'm gonna go ahead and do a 4-minute warning. So at 10:50 Eastern time, we're gonna call it. Chop it in half. I did work today. Night, Jerry. I'm gonna talk to you next time. I'm falling asleep myself. It's like I'm working nights. I did work this morning. Tired, man. Slept all day, had a long week. I had like a longer week, it felt like. I know the 4th was Tuesday. Tuesday? Yeah. Felt like a longer week. Maybe it's just me. Slept all day. I would love to sleep all day. One of my favorite things, and Courtney thinks I'm crazy, and y'all may as well. What I like to do is I like to go to sleep with the lights on and sleep like hard for a little bit, and then wake up and then take my shower, turn the lights out, everything, and then go right back to bed. Courtney won't let me do it because she won't do the lights, and I call it partying hard. She's like, "Oh, you party hard," but she's not game for leaving the lights on. Like I would sleep like it is right now. I would sleep amazing with the lights on. TV on would be even better. I'd sleep hard, and then I'd wake up, take my shower, turn everything out, and then go back to bed. That's my idea of a good time. Yeah, this week is long. Plus, it's hot outside. Yes, it is so hot. Temperature right now is 75 here locally, but it's been way hot. And rain, it's like rained all day. Or rained all week. Yeah, 75 feels like 95. Yes, it does. Especially like, I don't know about y'all's areas, but like if it rains, like if we only get like a 5 to 10 minute rain, not very long at all. If we get like a 5 to 10 minute rain, it seems like when the rain goes away, the temperature is like 20 degrees warmer. And it's all sticky and like you can't breathe and it's terrible. I have no fun when it's like that. It was like that the other day. Yesterday? Maybe? Right after I ran. I was on the track and I was like, dang, this is terrible. It was all sticky. I ran really slow. There should be a severe storm tomorrow in Virginia. That's not good. We had flash flooding here this morning. It didn't affect us, but we did have flash flooding. I could hear my phone continue to go off. That weather alert mess that they got going on. Terrible times. But in any case, it's cutoff time. I hate to do it, but I am falling asleep myself. I'm glad you did make it too, as well, Ross. It was a good time. But I'm gonna go ahead and head on off of here. Oh shoot! As you just reminded me of something, and you didn't even mean to remind me of something. Do you or do you not agree that Josh from Blue's Clues is Ernesto de la Cruz's great-great-grandson? He is, isn't he? He has to be. In any case, I'm gonna go ahead and head on off of here. And I will see everybody some point in time. I plan on doing another live stream. I don't think we have anything Saturday of next week. So maybe Saturday of next week we'll do another live stream. Maybe Friday of next week we'll do another live stream. I just heard a faint voice from way back. We'll be at the beach. Because my sister's coming in town, which I said something about earlier. We're going to the beach with my sister. So next Saturday we will be busy. Next Friday we might be here and might be able to do a live stream. So maybe I'll see everybody then. I'll do one before the week's over with. So good night, everybody. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you guys so much for the comments. Thought everybody